Hi guys, Pro Tips here with Texas Tiff. I have a little bit of experience with paint, some not so good and some great. So I want to share that with you, so hopefully you can learn a little something without having to do it the hard way like I did. As realtors or as someone who's getting ready to sell their home, we always want to touch up paint, right? We want to go through and just patch the nail holes and touch up paint. Here's the problem. If it's a new build, there's multiple types of levels of paint, right? So I recently had a listing where I went through and I was like, no problem, I got this. I got the I got flat paint from Sherwin-Williams that was exact matching color to her walls. We got that from the builder. The house was only 2 years old. No problem, right? Wrong. I don't know if you saw my video on that. It was a disaster. I went around, patched, and touch-up painted the entire house. Like 3,000 square feet of house. Has little dots everywhere, right? No problem. When you're facing the wall, it looks fine. I opened the front door and all down the hallway, it looks like I painted high gloss paint over flat. Because what I learned was builder grade flat paint and consumer grade flat paint are two very different things. Builder grade you have to get from a commercial store. It's not one that you can typically get at any Sherwin-Williams. So let me show you the difference. So we went and got the builder grade flat for one of my listings I'm working on right now. The big difference is the builders obviously are trying to maximize their resources. So they're gonna use paint that's pretty, I hate to say watered down, but essentially that's what it is. It's pretty thin. They're gonna put it in a sprayer, spray it on a white drywall. It doesn't require a whole lot of prep. But if you're trying to paint this over a existing color or even trying to paint it on the matching color, you can see how long this is gonna take. It's gonna take a good 3-4 coats for this to cover. I don't know about you, but I don't have time to do that much rolling and edging. So here's my recommendation. I would always recommend go ahead and get the higher grade paint if you are going to paint an entire room. Now, if you're just doing touch-up paint, we definitely need to go with the builder grade. We'll talk about that more in a minute. But since we're covering this entire room, my amazing friend over here, this is one coat. That's one coat of the higher grade, and it's kind of their mid-grade paint from Sherwin-Williams. So it's actually called Super Paint. I love this stuff. It already has primer in it, so you're not having to do prime and paint. You're like, oh my gosh, this 5-gallon bucket was about $100. This one was almost $200. I don't want to spend twice as much on the paint. Okay, do you want to spend 3 times as much of your time or paying someone to come in and do it? Go ahead and spend the extra money on the good paint, okay? So this one, you can see what he's doing, but I kind of want to show you here as well, right next to this. What a difference. And see how thick that is? It's going to cover this in one coat. Major difference. So, if you're painting an existing color wall, spend the extra money and go ahead and get something that's got a primer in it. You're gonna thank me later, I promise. Now let's go take a look at one of the walls that's already this color, and let's see what it's gonna look like with us touching it up with the builder grade, okay?
Okay, so if we look at this wall with me, you can kind of see where someone has gone to their local Sherwin-Williams store and picked up a consumer grade flat paint with the matching color. No problem, right?
You see the difference? There's a huge difference here because they've gotten something that's got a little, just slightly more sheen
To it than the builder grade.
So if you want to purchase this paint, even though it is a builder grade, you can still do that. You just have to go to a very specific Sherwin-Williams store. There's 2 that I know of in our area, that's right around the Dallas area. There's one in the Colony that's a commercial store, Sherwin-Williams store, and then there's also one in Plano that's on Independence. They also carry the builder grade. So don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to give them a call and ask, but don't use consumer grade flat. It's going to be different and you're gonna hate yourself later. I actually, in that last listing where I messed it up, had to go back with steel wool and scrub off where I had painted flat paint that did not look flat and clean it up so I could go back and paint over it with the builder grade. So if you need a realtor who's just a little bit extra, you know who to call. I gotta get back to work.